Okay. Hi, folks. We are live in person here. June 22nd, Monday, 2020. This is the Board of Public Works and Safety for the City of Scottsburg, Indiana. We'll have a call to order, so we'll have a roll call first, please.
Mayor Amy.
Here.
Tom Lewis.
Here.
Karen Gracious. Here.
Next thing on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for the June 8th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the
Karen
minutes.
Gracious makes a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I will second.
Tom Lewis seconds. Are there questions or comments after the second? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. It's a pass. Let's go down to the new business. And there are several things there. The first thing on your itinerary is an amendment to the job description for the Mid-America Science Park Senior Concierge. This is the same thing you saw last time except for 2 words. If you go down to the 5th bullet point down there, it says incumbent will coordinate with janitorial and maintenance staff. That's the only change there was. So the only amendment is that. There's not any more bullet points, I guess, like that you had. Am I correct on that, Ms. Ashley?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is that it is just that we're wanting that verbiage in there, instead of what verbiage we have. So that's the only thing there. So, is there any questions at all about that?
No.
Do I have then a motion to pass this amendment change as presented to you?
I will so move.
Tom Lewis makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And Gracious seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So passed. The next thing on our bullet list is the approval of utility, splitting the cost for the utility office to become ADA compliant. Now, let me just explain to you, with Jan's help here, because we've received notice, have we not, from Indiana, from the federal government, we need to become ADA compliant.
That's some guidelines we were just trying to be compliant with. Yes.
And the ADA is the American Disabilities Act, and we are in the process of doing that. Our utility office manager is here, and it's Leslie Bixler, and she's looked into this, and some of the things that have been done is that you're going to see as you enter the utility office, it has much more room to accommodate wheelchairs. We're making the restrooms right now ADA compliant by removing certain fixtures and making more room for ingress, egress out there. We will have new doors coming for the front with an automatic door opening. So you can, if you're in a wheelchair, hit the door open, it will open for you. Ms. Bixler, what else do you have for us?
Nothing. I'm very pleased with the remodel. It's going to be much more customer friendly. We do have a couple customers that come in and out in their wheelchairs, and it'll be very nice for them to be able to easily access the office.
So these restrooms back here are for the utility?
The restrooms here are for the utility.
Do they have to come through here?
It would have to, if they're coming in through here, this would be for restrooms for basically city council. For, should somebody need a public restroom
Yeah.
coming in the utility, they
Okay.
would have to use those restrooms there.
It's probably
So,
not that frequent, is it?
And not very frequent at all. No.
So,
and right now, you know, we do have an elevator, so if they need to come see the mayor's office or area plan, they can come up there. There's a ramp that goes down the area plan as well. So, you know, the doors are all the same width for ADA compliant as well, I believe. So, so with these renovations outside the door, we should be close to becoming totally ADA compliant.
so it doesn't sound like it was too much to do then, correct? Yeah.
And
And what's the deal with splitting? Who
Okay,
the
would you like
splitting
me to
with?
explain
please,
that,
Jan's
Mayor?
gonna.
Yes, I'm bringing it to this board because in the past, in the city, what we have done is whoever owns the building is who pays for any of the repairs or any of the services in that building. This building is owned by the electric department, and since this renovation was done to help stay in compliance with federal guidelines, I would like to request that this board approve these expenses be split the way we do our billing, the way we bill customers. We split that billing among how many customers each utility has. So I'm asking that we instead of the electric department paying 100%, we split this by percentages.
Okay.
And it'd be split 5 ways, but according to how many customers that area, which generates the revenue for our city, collects it. They don't generate it, they collect it.
Yeah.
That's how we would bill.
And let me just say this, if you're watching from home, and we have several of us here who live in Scottsburg, the city of Scottsburg owns the property, but the electric department paid for it. And so, many times the electric department wants to take ownership of that idea because, hey, we paid for it, we ought to be owning it. So instead of putting that whole, encumbering them with that burden, we decided to split it all, just like what Jan said. The electric department also has been expending a lot of money because we're putting a utility all the way around our city at high-speed internet. And one of the things that this COVID-19 has brought to us is that should we have a need to become insular, the internet is a huge utility to have. And so we're bringing extremely high speed to all the residents here in Scottsburg in the very near future.
So who are the 5? Electric, sewer, water,
Broadband,
broadband,
and then sanitation.
sanitation? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Leslie provides those numbers to us after December, starting on January 1, she provides us the numbers so we know how to prorate billing that is split according to the amount of customers.
In the past, the electric utilities paid it all. So in order to kind of be fair to the electric, we're asking all utilities to split.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what we do. We try to do, split anything we can as fairly as we can among all departments.
But as you know, police and fire, we've not asked anything here.
I was listening.
They don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
Just the sanitation, because Leslie, the utility office bills for that.
So that's what's going out. So with that said, we're looking for a motion to go forward for this utility split.
I will make the motion that we split utilities as described.
Tom Lewis makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grish's second. Are there any other questions or comments about this split? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign, so passed. The next thing we have is a hands-free, approve a hands-free policy. And because we're live, I think I probably will read this to you. This is use of a cellular phone, mobile phone, electronics while driving. The use of cellular phones and electronic devices while driving may present a hazard to the driver, other employees, and the general public. This policy is meant to ensure the safe operation of city vehicles and equipment and the safe operation of private vehicles while employees on work time conducting city business, except for police, fire, and emergency personnel. This policy applies to all uses of cellular phones and communication devices, including but not limited to computers, text messaging, email, or electronic calendars, multimedia devices, and printers. Employees shall adhere to all federal, state, and local rules and regulations regarding the use of cellular phones, electronic devices while driving. Accordingly, employees shall not use cellular phones if such conduct is prohibited by law, regulation, or other ordinance. Employees except emergency service employees performing required job function should not use handheld cellular phones for any purposes while driving. Should an employee need to make or receive a business call while driving, he or she should locate a lawfully designated area to park and make or receive the call. Employees may use hand-free cellular phones to make and receive business calls, such calls should be kept short and should the circumstances warrant, such as heavy traffic or inclement weather. Employees should locate a lawfully designated area to park to continue the call except for emergency service employees. Employees while operating commercial vehicles as defined by U.S. Department of Transportation shall not engage in text messaging and federal law. Violation of this policy will be subject to disciplinary action. So just so that everybody has the idea, and we're adopting this today. So, what questions do you have about this policy?
What is the disciplinary action?
Council?
It would depend on it'd be a level, it would be the first step within our progressive sanctions, but would depend on their record or anything else, I think. It'd be up to you guys to look at.
So would that be determined by whom?
You,
Oh, us? Okay. Thank you for that, Karen. Okay.
I mean, this is in line, as I'm sure the chief is aware, Indiana's new
Yeah,
hands-free,
Yeah.
not to be allowed to hold a phone, beginning July 1. So this is just updating our policy to reflect the new law.
okay.
Yeah, if you're watching at home, that affects everybody July 1. So, and there's a fairly sizable fine, isn't it?
So it's discretionary, I believe it's 50 up to 2,500 in line with the other infractions.
There you go.
We need to buy stock in those little phone holders.
Yes, exactly right. So, okay, do we have then a motion to go forward to the hands-free policy?
I'll make the motion.
Karen Gracious makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll go seconds. Questions, comments about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? That's so fast. The next one we have is a sad thing. It is a lease termination. The lease termination, I will just read the letter to you, given to the Scottsburg Mid-America Science Park. It says on May 24, 2017, this lease agreement was entered into and between the state of Indiana acting through its Department of Administration for and on behalf of the Indiana State Department of Health Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Education, the CDHHE, and the city of Scottsburg. This leased premises consist of approximately 977 square feet of space, which represent specifically rooms 319, 2020, and 21 at the Mid-America Science Park. Located at 821 South Lake Road in Scottsburg, Scott County. Since the original lease expiration on May 31, 2019, since this original lease expired on May 31st, 2019, this lease agreement has been going month to month. We are giving you notice to terminate the lease on September the 12th, 2020. This date represents the 90-day notice required for the lease. So that's what is going on, just to let you know. Basically, it says we have to approve the lease, but we're giving proper notice. Is there approval necessary, Council?
Yes, we need to accept the termination.
Okay, and do we have a motion to accept the termination lease?
Are they all paid up as far as the rent?
Ms. Hardy can answer that.
Yes.
What's the reason? Are they just going out of business or?
It's a state agency. I don't know if this one.
The state's gone out of business.
I think there was an email that, some language that they were adopted a mobile policy and they were closing their regional offices.
I don't think it has anything to do to any type of problems with the facilities or anything else like that. They have a lovely facility there, and they've got playrooms for kiddos and stuff like that. Folks are getting help.
I'll make a motion that we accept their request.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Gracious, second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So fast. The next thing on your packet is approval of packet pie, Mass Park lease change. I would like to hold up on that, maybe move that to the next meeting. I want to be able to talk to this gentleman first if I can.
Okay.
And, to make sure we are on the same page. I think he's simply wanting to go from one spot to another spot in close proximity, but I need to know more that I can explain to you.
I'll make a motion, we table it.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion made by Tom Lewis to table the approval packet pie. Leach change.
And I'll second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Item F is the approved hiring wastewater maintenance position. And this is where we've had one of the young men that we hired who had a CDL, commercial driver's license, is leaving the position, so that became a position was open, and Chase has brought before us an individual to replace him. Actually, do you have any information on this person?
I do not. There was a background check that the individual did pass today, so I do have that to report.
You know, approximately, I mean, he's not 19. I mean, I'm gonna say he's probably,
Can't say.
I can't speak
Cannot
to
say
him.
age.
Cannot say, no. Absolutely.
we don't have no idea what he holds.
No.
We can say this, he does have a driver's
Ideal candidate passed their background check.
license.
So does he have the CDL too?
I believe he does have a CDL. Yes, my understanding is he has a CDL or is in the process of getting a CDL. That's one thing we really try to require, because, you know, in that position there, we have a large vacuum truck, it's a tandem axle truck. We have several vehicles that do require CDL, and so it's just a great tool that your employees have that tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
And, you know, so,
So have you interviewed him, or do you do that?
I have not. I've talked to the department head, which is Chase Harden, and Chase Harden has thoroughly interviewed him. Chase Harden has taken him through the entire wastewater plant. He's aware of all the responsibilities and has said, I would like to do this. So, you know, is he leaving one job actually coming to this job? I think this was the case of maybe a 2-week.
I'm not aware of the circumstance.
My question is, are we not releasing a name at this time? So will this be on here in 2 weeks to have the name, the approval of that, or how's this to be handled? When is he starting, you know?
I'm unaware.
Let's go forward. Let me call Mr. Harden and just make that do that. I don't have to. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can call it.
Do we say that? I need to have the name.
Yeah, we need the name.
Yeah, that's what I thought for the.
Can you just, can you
guys
text-
Would you
know the
like me
name?
to go call him?
I
I
have,
know the name,
you know the name?
if it's okay, I mean.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know the
It's
name.
Sean Ronley.
Sean
Pretty
Roy.
sure who he is, yeah. Is that, yeah,
Yeah, Sean Roy.
But I'm effective.
and I can answer all your questions, yes, CDL, yes, leaving another position to come here, yes.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, well, yes, he's one of my guys.
He's one of your guys, okay.
Yeah, he's on the front part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I need to know.
When will this be effective?
2 weeks.
I can't answer that.
I'm gonna say within 2 weeks, or 2 weeks,
Possibly, yeah.
and, yeah, so I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
Bless her hearts.
Leslie Blexler is going to call Chase Harden to
Okay.
confirm.
So,
Can we skip that and come back to it? when
let's
she
come
gets-
back for a vote. How
Okay.
about that?
Sounds
Let's
good.
go down to what is near and dear to the heart of many of us, and especially women. And that is the approval of a new fire engine. So, Chief, can you explain about the fire engine for us?
Yeah, basically what we're looking at is, I've got some numbers and papers here.
Good.
Obviously, I filled everyone in on the process. Jan has helped tremendously, and Tish. Basically, this, as most of you guys know, this went into this kind of just looking at possibilities and ideas. After some research, after looking and doing the numbers, it almost appears that we'd be crazy not to do it. And basically, in a nutshell, if we do the cash option of a truck like we have in the past, it's going to be around 2028 before we can replace our apparatus. And I have charts and so on that shows the current ages and so on, and what they would be at that point. But, the moral of the story is with this program, it's municipal lease, purchase proposal, we can actually obtain 2 apparatus in the time frame that we had only planned on purchasing 1. Obviously, the second one would be potential. But this one, it's a 5-year lease purchase agreement. It would be paid off in 2026. And as you can see, most of all the details down the side, we are trading in one of our trucks, $35,000 trade-in. We will be putting down an $80,000 down payment. We are going to be purchasing the remainder of the equipment needed for the truck out of the fire truck fund as well. So, I just need the board's approval to move forward to the next step.
Is some of that equipment, chief, is some of that some newer equipment such as the new jaws of life and anything like that?
Well, actually, that was one of the 15 formulas we did, is that included into this. However, we found that it was actually going to be the better deal for the department and the city as a whole, financially, to take the equipment out of the equation. Because that was going to make the annual payments a lot less. So therefore, we could even shave some time off as well. So we chose to extract all the equipment, and we're just going to pay for that out of the remainder of the down payment and some of the annual budget.
What is the typical appreciation of this fire engine per year? How much is it?
The cost increase is 4.5% is on average of what we've been looking at, and kind of one of the things we had talked about amongst the group when I spoke to all the players involved was we purchased an engine in 1996. It was $165,000. We purchased an engine in 2002. It was $240,000. We purchased an engine in 2015. It was $340,000-ish. So with that, you see the increases. It's on average 4.5, and the lease rate, or interest rate, I should say, is 2.3 right now. And it's like we spoke, it's obvious that they're going to intersect the amount of the price of trucks going up as opposed to the interest rate. And that's where we come up with the, wow, this is actually going to save the city money to do this as opposed to wait.
It looks like to me it's approximately, if you go 8 years, it's approximately $1,150,000. This same truck would cost.
Yep.
Additional.
And I also have a chart that has all that too. I just didn't want to overwhelm them with a bunch of statistics and numbers. And so any of that stuff that you guys would like to see, I do have all that charts of the truck increases as opposed to the amount of
when it says
financing.
it's a Typhoon custom pump, what is that?
Basically, the brand of the truck is the E1. The Typhoon is like a model, so it'd be like a Ford F-150. Basically, we have 3. This would make the 3rd truck we have that is this same make and model, which is great because in the past we've had a lot of different trucks, which made things a little difficult for operators, especially volunteers. You know, this truck, you got to push this button, flip this switch, do this. This one's different. So it makes it a little bit challenging where it's nice to have a lot of the fleet now the same, where everything's the same, the pump operations are the same, the driving's the same. So that helps out tremendously from that standpoint.
What about from James County? Did you get it? Did you arm wrestle this guy?
We did. I won too.
I don't see his arm in a sling yet, but, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're the E1 representative.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
just here if you have any questions that might be more than the chief would be able to answer on.
20-year parts and labor warranty?
I don't think we figured that in. We can make sure that's in there, I guess.
What is the warranty?
The warranties on fire trucks are, there's a lot of warranties that vary because like for instance, the Cummins engine is a 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty. The Allison transmission is a 5 years, 100,000 miles. The cab and the body itself is a 10-year, 100,000-mile corrosion or cracking type warranty. The paint is a 10-year prorated warranty. There is a bumper-to-bumper warranty that is for 1 year, 12 months, that covers all the little nuisance type things. So there's just various warranties.
That's amazing.
What kind of truck are you trading in?
It's a 2002 American LaFrance.
How many miles do you have on it?
I want to say,
How many miles and run times too? Right?
yes, and I'll be honest.
Hours.
Hours is what you want.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, on like our department, for instance, that truck, I want to say, has one of the higher miles on it, but most of ours usually don't exceed 20 to 30,000. But kind of like what we talked, the years and hours is really what gets the best of it before the mileage itself.
It's an 18-year-old truck,
Mhm.
and it's a pumper as well.
Yes,
So when you say hours, is that like if you go to the fire, the number of hours are there?
yeah, it just continues to track as it's
The
pumping.
number of hours the truck has been running.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also pump hours, so there's several different parts that are calculated, yeah.
But assuming you're engaging that differential, so you've got that engine at high RPM, so you can pump.
Yeah.
And this is a basically, kind of a rent-own, kind of a lease-own.
It's essentially a municipal lease purchase program. The way they work is it's very much like a standard conventional loan that you get from any bank. As a matter of fact, we do it both ways. Some customers get a loan from the bank. A lot of them are using municipal lease purchases. What the municipal lease purchase allows you to do essentially is it's a lease in the term that you're only going to pay for. Each payment is only paid for the 1 year that you own it. But when you make that last payment, you own the truck.
Okay.
And what it does, the way it's been explained to me, I'm not an expert on the leasing part of it, but the way it's been explained to me is there is a clause in it that will allow you to treat it like a lease. If you said after 4 years, I don't want the truck anymore, you don't make a payment, you turn the truck in. No one obviously does that, but you can do that. And then it kind of doesn't necessarily burden future administrations. It's not even considered debt actually, because it is a lease. So, for most customers, it works just like a loan. You're doing exactly the same thing.
And 6 years payments, is that correct?
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. And like I said, we've done this, I honestly, probably, I would say at least 12 different formulas, of 5 year, 6 year, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. He probably was about to kill me at some point, because every time he would send me another paper, we'd sit aside and sit down, come up with another plan. And I think we got it down to about the best option, with being able to purchase the rescue equipment that we need as well on the other side, which that wasn't mentioned because that's a whole other side. But our current rescue tools are 25 years old. And have they ever failed us? No. But at 25 years, none of us want to be that person in the car when they do fail. So that's something we've been looking at, and it's all, our old stuff is gas hydraulic system, and technology's come around enough that they've had electric tools out for quite a while now. And that's kind of the way everything's going, and it's a lot more reliable. You don't have to worry about that motor starting. You just basically grab it, pick it up, and go. So that was another factor on how much down payment we was putting, as opposed to, and or even financing that in with it. But we chose not to do that, just due to payment reason.
I'm showing total payback, taking 6 times 6270 plus the 80 plus the 35. It's a payback of 45.4. So you can see the pumper is 463, 484. unless you're 35, but with that in there, so we're probably, once you see the numbers. We'll say this about, Scottsburg, we are still a volunteer fire department. And we do have a grant application with the state to add another full-time employee with the chief. And we have 2 stations now, one west of the interstate by Walmart and one here in downtown Scottsburg. And I will tell you, the only thing that has a concern is if the lottery hits and you have a train stuck or a train going through Scottsburg and you have a fire on the other side of this railroad track. That's been the concern we've talked about. We don't have an engine to respond. If there's a train going through, it's stuck. We'd have to go down to another, sometimes minutes matter. And so just to let everybody know where we're at in the whole fire. So questions, comments, concerns?
You need a motion?
Yeah.
Then I'll make the motion to accept this purchase agreement, or is that what it is? Is that what
Yes, it's really kind of a lease.
Lease agreement?
Yeah, because we're gonna own it after 6 years, and we own it at that last payment. So, and you didn't see him, but the head was going up and down to do that. And, so, Tom Lewis makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Gary Gracious makes the second. Questions or comments? This is all Robert rules. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Chief. It's
Thank
near and dear to all of our hearts because we're all being protected by Chief.
Yeah.
And it's really near and dear to him because it's always great to get a new fire.
For
Come
sure.
on out, well, he'll take you for a ride.
Keeps them all happy.
Come on down. That's exactly right. And, that's approving item G. Let's circle back around to pick up item F. The start date would be July the 6th, 2020 for Mr. Roy. Okay. What other questions?
Main thing
For
with
Mr. Roy?
payroll, just so we
Did we make a motion yet or not?
No.
I'll make the motion.
So we have a motion by Tom Lewis to go forward in the hiring of the wastewater maintenance.
I'll second.
Second by Karen Gracious. Other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved. The last thing we have is do we have a thing for the purchase of signs?
And I place those in front of you.
Thank you. Here it is. Here is a quote from Watson Sign. And what you're going to see here is a 2, 4, 6 signs. And what we're doing is, if you notice some of the signs over here by the Heritage Station, the train station, they were made out of wood, and the wood is in dire need of painting, cracking, peeling. And so these are gonna go back in an aluminum sign. So it should resist all of that. So we have a quote before us for $1,250 for that, and then the brackets to mount it with. So the total expense would be $1,250.
5, you said front, 1, 2, 3, 5 signs, yeah.
6, right? You got
6.
a quantity of 2
1, 2.
on the 2 over the Scottsburg
Oh,
Heritage
I'm
Station.
sorry, yeah, quantity of 2.
And then 1 at Nicholas Wilson Park, 1 at the Scott County YMCA, 1 at the Scott County Community Clearinghouse, and 1 at the Lifelong Learning Center. All those have been under the elements and have faded, cracked, and splitting. So again, we're in the policy, we want to make sure that it looks, smells, and tastes clean.
Yeah.
So again, we're continuing to try to clean Scottsburg. So,
Need a motion to,
yes, please, can I have a motion to to go forward with this then?
I will make a motion that we accept this proposal.
Tom Lewis makes the motion.
No, second.
Karen Brishes seconds. Questions or comments about this? Okay, thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. So moved. Okay, that concludes our alphabet, except for I, claims. And let's go to the department heads. You have things, you want to say claims first? Or you say-
Just wait for the department heads first is fine. I'll just get the approval for that one.
Okay,
Fine.
so, Chief, you want to go first?
I'm good.
He's excited.
Yeah.
He's happy.
We have our police chief.
I have nothing for you, sir.
Nothing?
No, we're good.
Wow. So things are going well?
Everything's going well. We have, Seth Elton's going back to the academy. They brought him back because COVID-19. He's going back, finishes 2 weeks out, he'll be done, and then, Patrolman Brown starts in August. And we're getting his list of stuff. We gotta get him for the academy. We're getting that started, and then when he gets back, should be good.
Folks, we have 18 officers now, that's
17.
17 officers, right now. And I've asked Chief Zellers to make sure we have an officer patrolling every street of Scottsburg every day. So you're gonna see cars going down every street of Scottsburg every day. So, we want you to know that, protection is there for you, as well as we're cleaning up Scottsburg. So, thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have the amazing Ms. Bixby.
The only thing I had for you guys tonight was a handful of sewer adjustments, for you guys to review and sign off on.
All three of us need to sign these.
Yes.
Here you go.
And this, you know.
And it is pool filling season, so there are quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Pool filling season is always a season to rejoice.
Oh, yes.
Right, exactly. Who else do we have here? Anything from the clerk treasurer's office?
Just, I would like to have a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'll make that motion to approve the claims.
Rich makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's just a matter of signing.
Yeah, I would like to also, let this board know that, my office has worked, a couple of the girls out of there have worked and did, submit our 2019 Community Crossing grant to the state for their review. So we're hoping to hear from that, to see, you know.
That's the community crossing that has been submitted.
Yes, it was submitted today, yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, so we're hoping, the lady said she would review it, and we do know there will be a little money that we're gonna owe on that, but, yeah, so that one's been submitted.
Can we tell how much that's for? Can we say how much it's for?
Yeah, I'm not,
Fair enough,
I'm
okay.
not sure what we,
Okay.
it's just to finish the paperwork, to
Okay.
finalize it.
I see.
You know, we'd already gotten that check and everything, so we've done the payment.
So that's for this coming up here's payment. Is that
That
correct?
was for last year's.
Last year.
It was just the petition worked on
I
getting
see.
all that finalized
I got you.
to submit.
So, yeah, so that's all been done.
That was sent to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. My fault, I thought we're talking about the one coming up for this coming fall.
No, that one's not, no. But, and my office is working on budget, so we've been meeting with the mayor weekly. We took a class last, Thursday, all of my staff did, with a lot of the projections of what they're thinking the COVID is going to do to the financial, state of a lot of, other municipalities. So we're going to try to prepare and be ready for that.
And folks, nobody could have ever foretold what this COVID was coming. Most of us never heard of COVID-19.
Right.
So, so to get something way out of left field coming in, it's certainly given us, but we know we're not gonna have as much money coming in this year as what we've had in the past years.
They're predicting it will hit us in 2022. It won't be so much this year as it will be in 2022. So
Still gonna get hit this year, but maybe not as hard.
they're not I'm not predicting any of the lead or any of that will be affected. Yeah.
So. What else do we have for this evening? The Scottsburg Board of Works.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Congratulations, makes a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in.
You're welcome.